Hey pretties! Today I want to tell you a little bit more about menstrual cups, and it's no coincidence that I'm wearing red for this video. I just had to. A menstrual or a period cup, as some people may call it, is a soft silicone medically graded cup that actually collects blood or collects your period inside of here, and it's totally reusable. There are loads of different types of menstrual cups to choose from. I have the Moon cup, and this is my second cup. This one has worked amazingly for me. The first cup that I tried was the My Own cup, and I had a terrible experience with it. I don't know, the cup just didn't suit me. I almost gave up at using menstrual cups, but then I tried the Moon cup. If you specifically want the Moon cup, then you can go to butterflywings.co.za. I will link the website down below. On Butterfly Wings, the Moon cup costs 485 Rand. The Moon cup is a more expensive type of period cup, but there are cheaper versions. I tried the cheaper version at first, which was the My Own cup, and it didn't work for me. So sometimes the cheaper version isn't actually the best option, but I do however know people who use the cheaper ones that are made in South Africa, and they have no problem with them and they work perfectly for them. So it's just a matter of trying and testing which one works for you. But because I've tried the Moon cup, I can honestly say that it's amazing and it worked the first time for me, whereas the My Own cup didn't work at all for me. It didn't want to pop open inside of me. So I can actually only give my opinion about those two period cups. It can also be that the My Own cup didn't work for me because it's a harder cup. This one is very soft. Sometimes people who have tighter vaginal muscles need a harder cup in order for it not to leak. So that's maybe why it didn't work for me. So there's the Iris cup, the Luna cup, the Mia cup, the Pink cup, the Princess D cup, the Empower cup. There are so many to choose from, and I'm going to tell you a couple of places that you can buy and that you can read up about and see which one suits your needs. So the Pink cup on takealot.com is 250 Rand. Also on Takealot, the Empower cup is 279 Rand. The Princess D cup is 320 Rand. Then there's a place called Nappy Shack that sells the Orchid cup for 150 Rand. That's the cheapest one I've found so far. I've seen reviews about it of people that really like it, so if you want to go for the cheaper option and first just try out the menstrual cup, then you can go for that option. I will also link it down below in the description. And then a website called Mini Matters sell the Mia cup, and these are all specifically options on where to buy in South Africa. But if you are looking for an option overseas, then the Moon cup, my cup, actually comes from the UK. It's inside, it says mooncup.co.uk, so you can just go to that website and then you can order it from there. And I know in America and other countries you can get it from eBay, and they are quite widely available in other countries, so you shouldn't have a problem. One of my favorite websites, Faithful to Nature, also sells the Moon cup, but it's a little bit more expensive. It's 530 Rand, but they offer free delivery and it's a really reliable website, so you can definitely try them out. Or if you just want to go and read some reviews on the Moon cup on their website, you can also do that. Personally, to me, it feels like if you're paying a little bit more, then you are getting a quality product, but it could be because the Moon cup is imported, so that's why the prices are so high in South Africa. Also, if you're unsure about which cup to buy, then you can join two Facebook groups, which I am on, and these two groups have taught me a lot about the period cup. The one is Menstrual Cups Worldwide, and the other one is a South African group. It's Eco Menstrual Solutions South Africa. So when buying your cup, there are two sizes to choose from. Sometimes it's a small and a large, or an A and a B size. In my case, it's an A or a B, and I bought the B size. So on the Moon cup website, it gives you a guideline of which size to choose. So it is not actually according to your menstrual flow, because that is what people think. So on this guide, they ask you if you've had children before, or if you are under the age of 30, and that determines which size you must take. So I am under the age of 30 and I haven't had children, so that is why I bought a size B. Most of these websites that I've mentioned give you a guideline in the description on how to choose your size, and this is really important. It only actually differs by 3 millimeters, but those 3 millimeters are crucial. And if you buy the wrong size, this can actually really affect how it feels inside you, and also if it leaks or not. That is the major thing about it. So how do you insert a period cup? This is one of the most important things to know because it really discourages people when they don't get it right the first time. And you shouldn't be discouraged because it's almost like when you started using tampons or when you got your period at first. It takes practice and it can take a while. They usually say that it takes 3 periods to get used to it. So you should give it time and not give up the first time. So the method that I use and that I find is the easiest for the moon cup specifically, and for me, is the C fold. So basically you fold it like this into a C shape and then you insert it and it pops open. And this method I've found the easiest. I will show you now how you put it inside. The other method is the 7 fold, which you basically take like this and then you fold it into a 7 like this and you insert it like this. The third method is the punch down fold. So basically you push it down like this, then you hold it over here and then you insert it like this. But I don't find this method very comfortable. I have tried it, it does work, but the C fold is just a lot better for me. So this glass is the only thing I could find that can basically give you a nice demonstration of how to insert a period cup. So for the C fold, I folded it like this. So basically this is how I would do it. You keep holding it like this, and then your vaginal canal, or whatever you call it, actually is a little bit tilted. It isn't upright like this. That's why some people get it wrong. So it's a little bit tilted, and then you push it into your vaginal opening and you put it inside and it basically pops open like this by itself. I'm just going to push it a little bit deeper so you can see it sits there. And the entire period cup must be inside of you. There must be no piece sticking out. It mustn't be like this. And the stem must also not stick out because that irritates you. The stem must literally just be inside. So if the stem is sticking out, then you must trim it a little bit. I will tell you about that just now. So basically this is what it looks like. I hope you can see with the reflection. And then with the punch down fold method, so you go down, hold it there, so it's basically like a, I don't know what you call it, and then you insert it into the opening like this, and then as you push it inside it should pop open. So the biggest thing about the period cup is that it sits lower than a tampon. It doesn't sit as high. So that is the biggest mistake that ladies make. And then once you've inserted it, basically your vaginal wall muscles form a seal around it and it sits all nice and comfy inside. So that is how it basically works. So if there was water here, then the water wouldn't come out because it's formed a seal. The first few times you have to check because you are scared that it's going to leak, and I still check sometimes when I feel a little bit uncertain. The best method is you take your index finger, you take it around the rim of the period cup all around to check if it has popped open, because that was my biggest problem with my own cup, is that I used all the different folding methods. I used this punch fold method, I used the C fold method, and when I put my finger inside I could feel that it wasn't smooth, there was a gap, so that means it didn't open, and no matter what I did, it didn't open. So here's some tips on how to open it once it's inside and it may not want to open. If you use the punch fold method, you can feel that it's not open. So what some people do is they push it on this side and then it pops open. What other people do is they push it along the base of the cup and then it will pop open with the pressure. What I also like to do is I like to twist it a little bit and just wiggle it just slightly, and especially when you twist it, it should form the seal better, and you should have more certainty that it's sealed. When you get your period cup, I'm not sure about all of them, but some of them or most of them have a leaflet inside, and that leaflet is really actually informative and it can really help you. I know the Moon cup also had the folding options inside, and it had diagrams of how to insert it, so it is really helpful and it can really help you for if it's your first time. I also suggest that when you buy your cup, you can practice at home when you are not going out somewhere, or over weekend when you're home, and I suggest that you practice it while you are not on your period, so then it's not as messy, because it can be discouraging at first when you're practicing and there's just a big mess everywhere. So try different folding methods and see what works the best for you and if it feels comfortable, because when it is inside it should really feel comfortable like a tampon, and actually for me it feels much better than a tampon, to be honest. I don't feel it at all. There's nothing sticking out. Now when I got my Moon cup, my stem was a little bit longer, about this size, so I have trimmed my stem, and this differs from person to person. If it's inside and you feel it's comfy and you've tested it a few times and you've made sure and it's still sticking out a little bit, then you can trim it slightly and see if it's better. So that's why I've trimmed mine, so that it can just sit inside of my vagina and not stick out. So you can just trim the stem, and if it's still too long then you trim a little bit more, but don't trim it all at once, because then it might be too short. Also, another tip is when you're inserting it, make sure you are relaxed, and also if you are squatting then it can help. I don't do it anymore, but when I was trying it out I did squat. I remember when I used tampons the first time I also did that. Just it opens up the vaginal canal much better and it allows easier insertion. And then another tip, you can use KY jelly or Vaseline or lubricant just to make it a little bit more easier to insert and for it to slip inside. I didn't find that I have to do that, but some girls may say that it is very dry, so they will have to need something extra to make it easier. So a lot of ladies complain about their period cup leaking, and this also makes them go back to tampons. But you should find out why it is leaking. It could either be the size that is wrong, or it could be that you're placing it too high in the vagina, or it could be that it's not forming a seal. So that was the major thing for me that I had to figure out, because that was why my own cup was also leaking. So if it just has a little slight fold in it, then it will leak. Also, it has these little air holes around it. Mine has about 8 air holes on the rim over here. You probably can't see it in the video, but these air holes help to form the seal. They should also always be open. Some people use those little brace brushes and push them in these holes, which are nice to clean the holes, but I found an easy technique. You just fill it with water and then you close your hand and you shake it like this, and then the holes come open, because sometimes the blood goes inside the holes and then that can also cause leakage. So just check it every night. Also, when you are on your period, you might find that your cervix goes lower down. It can go next to the vaginal wall, and basically like you struggle to open it. So the times that this has happened, I found that I must put it just a little bit lower, or I just wiggle it a little bit for the cervix not to be in the way of the period cup. So now I'm going to show you how to remove your period cup. The biggest thing is that you have to break the seal. So the first time when I removed my period cup, it was like a horror scene out of a movie, and the biggest thing is that I struggled to get it out, so I was freaking out, and I just decided, oh my word, I'm never going to try this ever in my life again. But I didn't do my research properly, and I didn't read up about it or how to do it properly. So I'm going to give you tips on how to make it easy to remove your period cup, because some people have this gross idea in their heads that it's going to spill everywhere, there's going to be blood like on the walls and everywhere, And I don't know why people think that, because it's actually not that bad. So the first step is you have to relax. When you are stressed and your vaginal muscles tense up, then it's not going to release and break the seal. How you break the seal is, what I do is, when it's inside like this and the stem is a little inside, I put my finger on the stem and I wiggle it a little bit just to try and break the seal. Sometimes it's so tight because you can really feel the vaginal walls, like muscles, really tight. So what I do is I push my index finger inside, I push my thumb on this side, and I push down with my index finger and my thumb, and you can feel the seal breaking. And then taking the base, I slowly pull it out with my fingers like this. Usually I use 2 fingers. I take it out and I slowly lift it out like this, and it really doesn't mess. Most of the time it's only halfway when I take it out. Once I've taken it out, I just dump it in the toilet. So when you are removing it the first time, don't think that your hands are going to be clean and it's going to be this amazing experience, because you are going to get a little bit hands-on with your period. Sometimes the blood does get on the outside, but mine doesn't do that anymore. But when you rinse it and stuff, you are going to get blood on your hands. I don't know why girls freak out about it, because it's your own body fluid. And actually the period cup has made me a lot more aware about my fluids, and it's actually, it sounds weird, but it's actually pretty cool to see like what level your blood is, and to just see it with your own eyes, where I've never seen it before, because in a tampon and on a pad you can't see it. So you can actually keep track, and when the doctor asks you, do you have a heavy flow or what, you can actually tell him. Because I've always felt so stupid when a doctor asks me, do I have a heavy flow or medium flow or light flow? Like, I've never compared my periods to other people, so how am I supposed to know what my flow is like? So there's actually a line here, 6 mils and 12 mils, which gives you a nice indication, and most of the times mine is at 6 mils. It's just really on my heavy day that it goes probably to 10 mils, but it never goes to the right to the rim. If you have a big problem removing it and you feel like you've stuck it up too high, which you shouldn't, because I've just explained to you it shouldn't go that high, but if you by accidentally put it too high, the best thing is to relax, and then you can squat, and then you can actually push with your vaginal muscles, and the pushing effect should push it a little bit lower in order for you to grab onto the stem. But whatever you do, don't stress about it. Nothing's going to happen if it's going to stay there for a while. So just give yourself time and just breathe and take it slowly. There's no rush to take it out. The period cup has a capacity of 28 mils. Usually tampons range from 6 to 18 mils, like the biggest tampons with the most absorbency are 18 mils. So basically there are 3 times the capacity of what a tampon can take. So this is the best thing ever about a period cup, is that you can leave it in for much longer than a tampon. So the times that I find that I must change my period cup personally is in the mornings and at night. I don't change it at all during the day. So when I am at work, or when I'm shopping, or when I am at any public toilet, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about it leaking. Mine has only leaked once, and that was because I put it too high, and also because it had a fold in it, so that was the only reason that it ever leaked. So the cool thing about the period cup is that you can keep it in for up to 12 hours, and that is basically what I do, and it never leaks. But if you have a really heavy flow, then you might feel that you have to change it more. It's more about experimenting and just seeing how much it can take. For the first 3 times you should basically change it more often, and don't leave it in as long as I do. I don't want it to leak and discourage you, but for me personally, I just change it twice a day. Before I go to bed, I change it, so I know in the nighttime I can sleep well. I don't have to wake up and change anything. I'm not going to leak. And in the morning I change it again, and I go the whole day without any leaks or changing it. Okay, so when you are traveling, if you must make use of public toilets and you must change it in a public area, then this is what I suggest you do. It's not so bad because some people have this idea of they walk into the toilet and then they walk out into the public area where the basins are, and you empty your cup in front of everyone and everyone sees your period, and it's just gross and everybody is looking at you all weird for you collecting your period in a little cup. And it's not actually like that. What you can do to make it better for you, you remove it in the toilet and then you dump the blood inside the toilet. And there are two options then. If you don't have a water bottle on you, you can just take toilet paper and rub it clean and then reinsert it, and then when you get home tonight, then you can just wash it properly. And then what a lot of ladies do is they take drinking water in a bottle with them in their handbag, and then when you remove your period cup, you just rinse it with a little bit of water over the toilet, and then you wipe it with toilet paper and you reinsert it, and it's really not that bad and it's not messy. Now, looking at cleaning your period cup, so while I am on my period, I don't wash my period cup. All I do is I rinse it every night and every morning with cold water. I rinse it with cold water so that it doesn't stain a lot. It really helps for it not to stain. You can wash your period cup with a fragrance-free soap, but I find that I don't have to do that. I've read up a lot about it and nothing happens if you don't wash it. But some people prefer just to wash it and for it to be nice and clean. I just don't like to use soaps because I'm scared that it might irritate me. But if you do use a soap, make sure you rinse it really well so there's no residue that stays behind and then it might irritate you on the inside. Then after my period, then I boil it in my little period pot. Please don't use one of your cooking pots to boil your period cup. I take that and then I boil it for 5 minutes, and that really sterilizes it and gets rid of bacteria or germs and just makes it all nice and clean for it to be stored away. And then I just air dry it, and then I place it in my little period bag that I got with my moon cup, and I just place it inside and I store it just in a clean cupboard, not like in your bathroom where bacteria can grow. It's usually where my makeup is and my beauty products. Some people also use the sterilizing tablets to sterilize it, like the stuff that you sterilize baby products with. So you can get that at the pharmacy too, or at Discam or Clicks. They sell those tablets if you don't have a baby like me and have no idea what they are, but you just heard about it, then you can get those. Those are also apparently very nice to use to sterilize. After a little while, you'll see that your period cup isn't so nice and clean anymore, and it has a lot of stains, so it becomes like yellow and orange and funny colors. So what I do to get rid of stains is that I buy hydrogen peroxide. I buy my hydrogen peroxide at Discam. You can get it at any pharmacy. Then you ask for the 3%. It comes in a little bottle. And then I take a cup, a separate period cup, not this cup, like a usual drinking cup. You place it inside and you pour the hydrogen peroxide all over it, and if it doesn't cover it, you just add a little bit warm water together with it. And you leave it overnight or for a couple of hours. You'll find that overnight it looks like a brand new cup and it's stain free. I did that to mine this week and it looks really nice and new. The hydrogen peroxide is totally safe for your body to use. I've read up about it, and all the ladies on the Menstrual worldwide group use hydrogen peroxide, and actually according to them, they say that your vagina produces some hydrogen peroxide. I don't know how true that is. I'm just stating what I heard. Hydrogen peroxide is not bad for you, so if you leave it in the hydrogen peroxide and you just rinse it with water afterwards, then it shouldn't affect you or irritate your skin. Some lazy girls use a microwave. You shouldn't do that, and also you shouldn't put it in the dishwasher because the Moon Cup company, they say that it changes the material, so it might damage the material and then your period cup won't last as long. A more DIY method, you take bicarb and vinegar and you also soak it in that with an old toothbrush. You can scrub it and get rid of stains. Some people complain that their period cups have a funny odor. Mine hasn't had that. Sometimes my period does smell funny, but that's with tampons you also get that. That's just part of nature. If it has a funny smell, it could be because you've left it in for too long, but all you do is you just sterilize it and it should get rid of the odor. So after all of this, if you still need some convincing to switch to a period cup, I'm going to give you some more reasons. Some ladies say that their period pain is much better after using their period cup. Some ladies say that their period has also shortened after using the period cup. In my experience, I don't have less period pain and I also don't have a shorter period. It probably differs from person to person, but if you have found that it has changed for you in that way, please comment below. I would love to hear about that. It's totally reusable. It lasts for years and years. Some period cups last for 10 years. Some of them say they last for 5 years. I will check how long mine lasts for, but I've had mine for about 6 months now. And it's totally still fine. It hasn't changed in structure. But they say when it starts getting sticky and the material starts breaking down, that's when you know you need to buy a new one. So the main thing is it saves you money. Tampons and pads are so expensive, and this is like a once-off thing. You only have to buy one period cup and it will last you for years and years. Even if you are paying for the expensive one, I paid 500 Rand for mine, but I know it's going to last me long. And they say one cup is equal to 1,200 pads or tampons, which is like feels like a lifetime. It collects 3 times more than a tampon. So for ladies who are light or medium or heavy or like heavy, and it's going to work for everyone no matter what type of flow you have. It's good for the environment because there are less tampons and pads that are lying on landfills. You can swim, exercise, you can travel with it, you don't have to change it so often, so it's just much better than tampons or pads. You only have to change it at home, you don't have to change it in public areas, and you don't have to have a supply of anything. The silicone is hypoallergenic, so it shouldn't irritate you, it shouldn't cause infections. Plus you can have a lighter purse and a handbag. You can have a peaceful night's sleep without having to change anything, without any leakages. Also, did you know how bad tampons are for you? Tampons aren't naturally white. They are bleached that way, and bleach is like a chemical byproduct, so that can't be good to stick inside your body. Another reason to use a period cup is that you don't have anything outside of your body, like the tampon strings that decide to make an appearance at the beach. And also, when you pee and go to the toilet or after you've showered, the tampon string is wet and soaked with water. And if you think about it, it's made from cotton, and most of the time it's non-organic cotton, so also there could be a chance of pesticides in that cotton. The other thing that I read about is that your vagina produces other juices, and then the tampons, except for the fact that they absorbing the blood, they are also absorbing all the good juices and body fluid that your vagina produces. And finally, if you are still grossed out by a period cup, have you ever thought about the fact that what a tampon and a pad actually is? If you think a period cup is weird and gross, think about a tampon. It is like a cotton plug that you stick up your vagina and that collects blood. Like, what is different about that? And then pads, what is better about using pads? It's like a slab of adult diapers. If you have any questions, please comment below and I will try to help you. You can also join those 2 Facebook pages that I spoke about, and those ladies are really helpful and you can ask any question on there. If you enjoy my videos, pretty please subscribe to my YouTube channel down below somewhere here, and you can get notifications every time I post a video. I make beauty, fitness and health videos. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram under Make Me Pretty Fit. Happy, healthy hugs.